Regional brackets are filling as we move toward the Sweet 16. And now the UAB Blazers from the Conference USA and the #1 seed in the entire tournament, the Wildcats of Kentucky, do battle. Here's a look at the brackets here in Columbus. Kentucky UAB winner will move on to St. Louis and play the winner of the Pacific Kansas game. Look at the starting lineups for our second game as this busy first week of NCAA tournament action comes to a close. Kennedy, Edens had that career game 26 against Washington, beating the Huskies 102-100. Squeaky Johnson, Mo Finley, Sidney Ball. But they'll use 11 players. That's the way Mike Anderson runs them in and out for the Wildcats of Kentucky. Familiar names: Eric Daniels and Chuck Hayes up front. Hawkins, Azubuike, and their leading scorer Gerald Fitch off a 26-point game on Friday night in the backcourt. Tubby Smith, already with a national title, one of 7 that have been brought home to Lexington and the University of Kentucky, one of the storied basketball programs. And certainly you could write all day and still have something left over when you talk about the success of the Kentucky basketball programs through the last century. His 7th season aboard, and Mike Anderson, the 44-year-old head coach in his 2nd year at UAB, a disciple of Nolan Richardson. He played for Richardson. He coached with him for 20 years, and he's brought that 40 minutes of what Nolan Richardson called hell. He calls it the 40 fastest minutes in basketball. And did we ever see it on Friday night against Washington?
Well, one of the keys for UAB will to impose their will, which is racehorse basketball. And of course, Kentucky knows all about racehorses. They want to run some, but they must control the tempo of this game.
Don't know what the delay is. Oh, here comes Sidney Ball, number 32, apparently had the wrong jersey and had to make a quick equipment change. So UAB in the green, Kentucky in the white. Greenwood, Hess, and Maxwell with the whistles, and we're set to go. Game 2 in Columbus at the Nationwide Arena. Nearly 20,000, a lot of blue out there cheering for Kentucky, but it'll be UAB's Blazers that get the first chance. Squeaky Johnson with the ball. Made that big 3 in the final minute inside to Kennedy and blocked by Hayes. Hayes can't control. They played before, but a long time ago, some 23 years ago, in the 3rd year of UAB basketball, and the Blazers beat Kentucky in this round 69-62. Mo Finley, the leading scorer. This is Edens, Johnson, Ball, Kennedy. It is on defense where you'll see the Blazers pick up that frenetic pace.
UAB in their half-court offense just trying to make do. You're right, Dick. They want to get it up and down, use their steal ability as Mo Finley gets them off and running and create turnovers. They average just under 12 steals a game, so imperative for Kentucky to make their passes sharply and crisply.
Hawkins, Hayes, Azubuike. Inside is Hayes. Uses his body so well. It's tied at 2. They call him the glue, and even the Blazers coaches and players refer to Hayes as the man who makes it all work. Squeaky Johnson can't hit from outside. Azubuike flashes quickly into the offensive end and finds Hawkins. He goes up with a left-handed 3.
I'm sure that's not a shot that Tubby Smith is very happy with. That you'd be able to get a lot easier shots in the half court against UAB than just rushing up the first 3 that shows up.
Mario Edens, who had 26 against Washington, is career best. And then those 2 blocks at the end of the game that saved a 102-100 win. He wears number 23. Johnson inside, back out to Sidney Ball for 3. He's short, but Squeaky Johnson at 5'9" gets the rebound. Gabe Kennedy back out to Johnson. And he hits the 3, and the Blazers lead 5-2.
Well, it's excellent defense initially by Chuck Hayes on the post defense, stopping Gabe Kennedy, but then for whatever reason, Eric Daniels left the shooter on the perimeter.
And where's that full court press? As Fitch takes it hard to the hole.
There's a little inside-outside action for the Blazers. You see Chuck Hayes not going for the fake, and Eric Daniels coming down to double team. And really, the Kentucky big men, Daniels and Hayes, are so good out on the perimeter. They're able to switch and pick up smaller players and generally contain and contest shots.
Gerald Fitch at the line, misses the first. The foul was on Ball, his first. Fitch averaging over 16 a game, but in the postseason, he's hitting almost 21 points per contest. It's 5-3. The Blazers lead. Nice move along the baseline by center Gabe Kennedy, a 6'9" senior. Tightening the pressure a bit as Daniels now has to hang, and he gets the call. Pushing foul. And it goes against Ball, his second, so 2 quick ones on Ball.
Eric Daniels seeing some wide open spaces, but the left-hander going to his right really wasn't sure where he was going to go, so I don't know if he got bailed out or got hammered or both on that as he took a hard hit.
Well, they rule that Daniels was shooting. He misses the first. In comes Brandon Tobias for Ball, who will be rested 2 fouls in the first 2.5 minutes for Ball. Bad start for him. Lost his uniform, late start. And when he did get on the court, 2 quick fouls. Eric Daniels makes it a 7-3 game, and here comes UAB.
And making a conscious effort of looking inside to Kennedy, want to get him in against Chuck Hayes, at least him work at the defensive end.
Finley and Johnson, 2 lightning quick guards in the backcourt for UAB. Finley fall away. And the rebound comes out to Kennedy. Back inside to Kennedy. Mo Finley fires a 3, and UAB leads by 7 with 3 minutes gone. Check that by 6 at 10-4. And Hawkins coast to coast makes it easy too. First points for Cliff Hawkins.
Well, this is what the Blazers would like to get Kentucky to go up and down with them. Not that Kentucky can't score in the open floor, but it's really what best suits UAB because they can go to their bench and they go 10-12 deep. I don't know if Tubby Smith wants to go that deep because really his backup players don't handle the ball well. So maybe Mike Anderson waiting for Tubby to go to that bench before he exerts more pressure.
Yeah, surprisingly, not using the full 94 feet of defense. Here's the star of the win against Washington, Edens, and he misses that one. He certainly was a clutch with 13 out of 15 free throws going down to the wire to help his team win on Friday night. The foul was on Azubuike, his first.
Now, when you look at the starters for Kentucky, all 5 of them are very good ball handlers, can dribble the ball well. So maybe Mike Anderson a little bit concerned that they might pick apart that press, although they are picking up full court here.
Hayes helping in the backcourt. Daniels back to Hayes. It goes off his leg out of bounds to UAB. So the 2 big men trying to work a little give and go.
Well, they passed so well to one another, but not in that setting. Actually, that bounce pass by Daniels to Hayes a little bit outside where Hayes couldn't get a good handle on it to pick it up and then put it on the floor. Tough to catch that one.
Finley feeds inside to Tobias. Kennedy can't hit the tip. Hawkins pulls it down. Azubuike, a little short. Tipped by Daniels. Gets it back, and Eric Daniels scores. It's 11-8 UAB. 3 points for Daniels.
And right back at you. The Blazers waste no time. Get it out of the net and shove it right down your throat. They get that ball to the at least foul line extended in about 3-4 seconds.
Pitch on Finley. From the side, Tobias unable to connect. Rebound Daniels. Feed the post. Daniels will take the 3, and he ties it at 11. Eric Daniels from outside. 6 points for him to lead all scorers early.
Eric Daniels is not going to take too many threes, just 6 for 22 on the season coming in.
Daniels on Tobias. Edens throws it away. And with that, a timeout. 15-15 left in the opening half. The Blazers get an early lead. And Daniels comes back to tie it at 11. Nestled in downtown Columbus, Ohio, the nationwide arena, nearly 19,500 here. And let's go to Leslie Visser for this report.
Hey, Dick. Well, it's been a tough start for senior Sidney Ball. He actually forgot his uniform jersey. He had to rush back to the locker room to put it on right before the start of the game. Then he picked up 2 quick fouls. He's hoping things improve. Dick and Matt.
Okay, Les. Ball undoubtedly will be rested a considerable amount of time with those quick 2 fouls. And it's impacted the play. Now here comes the full court press. UAB's famous vice that they have applied throughout the season. But these veteran guards, Hawkins, whoa, high bounce, but he's able to control.
And UAB would love it if you continue to try to dribble through that instead of pass through it.
Picked away from Hawkins, but it goes to Kentucky. Azubuike inside can't hit. Gabe Kennedy for the Blazers on the run. Nice pass. Woo. Close to goaltending there. Hayes the other way. Hawkins couldn't handle it. Out of bounds to UAB. So both teams miss what appear to be surefire opportunities.
And Hawkins grabbing his back a little bit. He's been bothered by that. The rest of the crowd thought goaltending here, but slapped against the board by Eric Daniels. The Kentucky part of the crowd thought it was a good play, of course.
Right, and you can slap it against the board in college basketball.
So far for the UAB Blazers, 8 of their 11 points have come off second chance opportunities. So hammering the offensive board. Kentucky not big up front.
Oh, it goes off the toe. And Tony Johnson able to save the ball. That was a good effort by Johnson just in, because if they just let it roll into the backcourt, Kentucky's going to pick it up for an easy 2 points. It was going to be a violation regardless, as Chubby Smith makes a change. Antoine Barber comes in.
Cliff Hawkins going out on that alley-oop attempt from Chuck Hayes. And I'm sure Cliff Hawkins doesn't get too many of those chances. May have tweaked his back, which has been giving him some problems.
Seemed to be upset about something, didn't he? Tied at 11. 6 minutes into this key game. Number 1, Kentucky, and Eric Daniels just knows where he is around the hoop. Makes it so easy. He has 8 points. That'll be a blocking foul on Fitch. Kentucky with its first lead at 13-11.
Well, Eric Daniels getting behind a defender on the front. And this is pretty much the way that Nolan Richardson play. Always trying to get around three-quarter an offensive player, get around in front an offensive player instead of play behind. And that will play into the favor of Kentucky with the way that Chuck Hayes and Eric Daniels pass the ball to one another.
Last 3:20, a drought for UAB, as you saw Ronell Taylor come in for the first time. Ronell and Donnell Taylor, identical twins. Finley, good fake, tries the 3, and Daniels has the rebound. He and Hayes play so much bigger than their height. Daniels at 6'8" and Hayes at 6'6".
Now this puts the ball handling responsibilities on Gerald Fitch, and got caught for a 5-second violation. Defense by Ronell Taylor.
That'll please Mike Anderson. He says every one of his defensive players has to defend against 1.5. He said you're responsible for 1.5 men, so we shouldn't allow anything. We got 7.5 guys on the floor.
I know where Mike's counting. I don't know if his players understand all that, but what he means, that off-the-ball defender, the next closest man to the man with the ball, is supposed to be guarding his man and helping out on the ball.
Edens can't hit the runner, and the rebound to Barber. Azubuike has been so outstanding the last month. Hayes has it stolen. Tony Johnson all the way, hangs and scores, and ties it at 13 with his first basket.
Well, you make a mistake against UAB, and in that case with Gerald Fitch, who's the point guard, he's got to be more in the backcourt, getting caught on the baseline.
Antoine Barber right over Kennedy. He has his first 2. They broke the press neatly that time.
And So much a key for Tubby Smith and the Wildcats that Antoine Barber give them a big lift coming off the bench. He's the 6th man right now. Has been starting there for a while to get his confidence back up.
Gabe Kennedy, the senior from Camden, Alabama, ties it at 15. 4 for him.
This pace, you want to keep an eye on it. UAB used to playing at Kentucky, although Tubby has used his bench quite a bit all season. I don't know if they're ready for this kind of pressure.
Finley hawking pitch, and then Finley with a foul from the backside. It'll be his first. And massive substitutions from both sides.
Pressure defense, and Antoine Barber getting right in the middle of the zone defense, finishing off nicely. And Gabe Kennedy, nifty footwork in the low block.
In the St. Louis Regional, UAB and Kentucky, 9th seed against number 1, tied at 15. Earlier, Illinois shockingly just overran Cincinnati. Cincinnati was a modest favorite, and there's the man who did the most damage. Darren Williams of Illinois, 31 points. You bet he's on his phone telling him how'd you do today, Darren?
Letting everybody know he had absolutely a career game.
Yeah, you start the conversation by saying, yeah, I just thought I'd give you a ring. We had a game today.
Did you
wait for him to say, how'd you do? 15 all, 11:57 to go. Here in Columbus, tied at 15. Antoine Barber can't hit. Josh Carrier just in for Kentucky, gets the long rebound. They're going to call that on Donnell Taylor, the other half of the Taylor twins, for reaching in. His first foul. Team fouls now. Kentucky with only 2 and UAB with 4. Winner of this game to meet either Pacific or Kansas in the Sweet 16 in St. Louis. Georgia Tech and Nevada are in the Sweet 16 already.
Zone defense now by the Blazers to shake things up on the out-of-bounds play.
Carrier, a good three-point shooter. He's in there because of the zone. Barber takes it all the way down the lane and scores. He's had 2 very impressive moves up the middle.
And all that does, Dick, is just lift his confidence, which is so important to his game.
Tony Johnson, Ronell Taylor, and he hits his first hoop. Tied at 17 with 11 minutes left in the half.
Squeaky Johnson giving Cliff Hawkins, trying to get up at him, bother his dribble.
And the turnover as Marcus Lewis comes up with a loose ball. Both Taylors are in. Number 2 is Ronell. Number 1 is Donnell, and that's Donnell. Marcus Lewis says, I got the rebound, I'm shooting it, and I'm scoring with a foul. He's unlike the others, atypical body build for UAB.
Well, he takes up so much space in the paint and has an incredibly soft touch for such a big man. But right now, UAB just hammering away at the Wildcats in the paint. That's 10 second chance points for the Blazers.
Fouls on Sheree Thomas, 6'7" freshman from Montreal. He sees his first goodie, and there he is on cue with his first points. It's tied at 19.
A good idea for Kentucky to put the ball in the hands of Chuck Hayes and let him go against what would be non-existent pressure from another big man from UAB.
Pace of this game is going to force Tubby Smith of Kentucky, and he knows that. Talked to us about it yesterday, to use more substitutions. Squeaky Johnson, Taylor to Taylor.
Kentucky using their zone defense for the first time today.
And Squeaky Johnson making some noise. Hits the 3, and it's 22-19, 6 for him. Past the midpoint of the first 20-minute period.
Terrific pressure by Squeaky Johnson, and sometimes that will bother Cliff Hawkins. He sometimes gets into a macho type of thing where he starts talking to his opponent, and it takes him out of his game.
The quickness of Johnson defending, and he had Barber off balance, but Barber able to draw the foul from Johnson. as we remind you to make sure that you vote for your starting forwards on the Pontiac All-Time Tournament team. You can cast your ballot now at ncaasports.com/Pontiac. You saw our Pontiac starting lineups earlier. Donnell, Taylor, not Johnson gets the foul, and it's his second.
On shooting foul, too. I thought Barber may have released that ball as he was stumbling towards the hoop.
Sabuki has been held in check thus far. He's been the hot hand. That's his shot, the three-pointer. And the clear by Ronell Taylor to his brother Donnell. They like to pass to each other. Oh, my! Wow! 2 points, and he made a very difficult shot look easy.
Well, we mentioned that to Mike Anderson, the coach of UAB, yesterday, that the Taylor twins sometimes overpass to one another. He said, yeah, it's a problem. We're trying to get through to one another. They're playing with 3 other players out on the floor.
A 5-point lead for UAB. Pitch can't hit. He's short. Up high for the rebound is Tony Johnson. Here come the Blazers. Squeaky Johnson, traffic control with the dribble. Now Tony Johnson. The big man, Lewis, inside. It doesn't fall. He gets the foul. Let's go back to the twin-to-twin, Taylor-to-Taylor combo.
And Donnell out in the open floor, whirling dervish, spinning in, and then using that offhand beautifully.
Here they are, the Taylors. First, let's see Marcus Lewis at the line, looking for his 3rd point. Foul was on Barber, his first. There's Donnell, number 1. Ronell's number 2. You can tell them apart by their numbers or their socks, as we did on Friday night if you weren't with us. I'm going to try it again. Well, Ronell, his first name is Quincy Ronell, and it's Quincy Donnell, 2 and 1. 1 sock up for number 2 in respect to his brother who wears 1. 2 socks up for number.
Sock it to me together. I love it when he goes through that.
Out of odds to Kentucky. There, see the 1 sock up. That means that's number 2 in respect to his brother number 1. There's the 2 socks up for number 1 because he salutes his brother number 2.
And there you go.
I'm glad I minored in math. Kentucky, and it was kicked in a new 35. 8:34 left in this opening half, and the Blazers of UAB enjoy their largest lead, 7 points.
Kentucky so well prepared to attack that pressure, and as long as they keep the ball in the middle of the floor, they should be able to handle it.
One thing about the Taylors at 6'6" and long, they're just such good defenders as well as ball handlers. Nice move inside, but Barber can't get it to fall. Daniels can. There again, just the knowledge of where he is on the court. Always knows right where the iron.
I think it's a tremendous feel. And he's not that tall, only 6'8", but he just knows where the bodies are around him.
And Fitch steals the ball from Squeaky Johnson, and Johnson trying to get it back, fouls his first.
Well, Barber missing a chippy right there, but Daniels just a little up fake, getting rid of the defender, and just so clever around the basket, uses the rim to shield potential shot blockers. And how about Squeaky Johnson, and the nickname Squeaky Clean, because that's how he steals the ball ever since high school, and that time he got squeaked by Gerald Fitch.
Turnabout fair play. Fitch with that bandage on his right hand, holding the 2 fingers together, an injury suffered a month and a half ago. He has only 1 point as he takes the 3 here. Little too long. Ronell Johnson Taylor with the rebound. Finley brings it in and loses the bounce. A little behind the back, and it got away from Mo. Delightful young guy, a 3.60 Hume honor student. Honor start for Mike Anderson's team. And welcome back. 26-21 UAB. Both teams shooting well. A little better success outside for the Blazers. Squeaky Johnson with 6. Daniels has 10 for Kentucky. Got to be tough about. I haven't seen anyone play quite at this pace this year, the Blazer pace.
No, Dick, and I think Mike Anderson is kind of taking a little off the fastball, not playing quite as much racehorse as they normally do, and it's paying off. They're doing a terrific job on their offensive board. They got 10 points there. However, Kentucky doing most of their damage inside, outscoring UAB 16-8 in the paint, and that's Eric Daniels doing the damage there.
And the two men who were so hot on Friday night, Edens of UAB who had 26 and Phipps of Kentucky also with 26. Yeah, they each have only 1 point thus far. 7.5 minutes left in the first half as Barber misses the three and Ronell Taylor rebounds. They handle the ball so well too, these Taylor twins. They're juniors from Montgomery, Alabama. Carl Dell, Squeaky Johnson is number 0 and Finley number 10. There's the drive by Ronell and he gets the roll and the foul. 28-21 UAB. Ronell averaging 9.5 a game.
Getting a little seam in the crease and just taking that bump from Chuck Hayes. Those Taylors both come off so consistent in coming off the bench, giving that scoring. About 7-8 points a game, and Chuck Hayes and Eric Daniels in particular have to be very careful with their fouls. Tubby Smith can't afford either of those two to get in foul trouble.
It remains a 7-point lead. The long pass to Barber and a good catch. Fans thought it might have been a travel and trying to recover it. Hayes moves outside. And so Squeaky Johnson just on the shift. Switch takes him. You don't really have a man in this UAB defense. You just pick up somebody. No one picked up Fitch, however, and left alone. He nails the three. He has 4 in the game.
They keep switching up defenses.
And the answer, a three at the other end from Squeaky Johnson. 9 points for him to lead the Blazers. And the three-point shooting, 50% for UAB.
Kentucky prides themselves on their ability. All 5 men out on the floor, doesn't matter what size, their ability to get out and challenge those three-point shots.
Push off by Daniels. And that's going to be called on Daniels. Used his off arm to ward off the defender. A reminder, Monday, all new on CBS. Begins with Yes Dear, then Still Standing, then Everybody Loves Raymond, and 2.5 Men followed by Monday's #1 drama, CSI Miami. Plus The Late Show with David Letterman, Mondays right here on CBS, America's most watched network. The nation's going to be watching with interest to see if the UAB Blazers can keep up this pace against the #1 team. From the corner, another three, and this one from Mo Finley. And the biggest lead for UAB now is 10.
Okay, Kentucky went through this the other night against Florida A&M.
And a backcourt violation forced by the defense of Finley. And Tubby says, hey, the Blazer player had the ball. It shouldn't be called.
Now, Mo Finley deep in that corner. You see the hand up in his face by Fitch. And Chuck Hayes normally very sure with the ball. But the backcourt violation as Chuck Hayes took it into the backcourt. He was normally a very sure passer, but was a little bit careless there with the one-hander.
Spencer was tied at 15. The Blazers on a 19-9 run and lead by 10. And it's Ronell Taylor with a pass inside, and in the crowd, the foul is called as Gabe Kennedy trying to work his way in for 2. Second foul on Eric Daniels.
Well, Mike Anderson telling us yesterday that his team is well aware of who Kentucky is, the tradition and the history, but they all obviously put the pants and the sneakers on the same way. And Mike Anderson's experience in the SEC as a longtime assistant with Nola Richardson at Arkansas is not in awe of Kentucky, although he respects what they have done.
Kennedy misses the first free throw. There's Nolan Richardson, who took Arkansas to the national championship in 1994, rooting for his pupil, Mike Anderson. Kennedy gets 1 out of 2, and the 11-point lead is the largest of the game. 5.5 minutes before the intermission.
But Kentucky Very tentative now,
aren't they?
Dropping back into his own defense. UAB has Kentucky back on their heels.
Barber works inside. Couple of tips and they're not there, and Kennedy rips it down for the Blazers. Squeaky Johnson back in. There's the star of Friday night's win against Washington, and Edens hits his first bucket. DeMario Edens, with under 5 to go, gives the Blazers the 37-24 lead.
UAB is just getting very high-quality shots against a normally tough defensive club in Kentucky.
Finley fouled from behind. Ronell Taylor raises his hand, so does Mo Finley. Finley's second. And the 7th on UAB.
Well, DeMario Edens sometimes has a tendency to kind of disappear and not assert himself. Mike Anderson has to keep after him. He asserted himself the other night and played a beautiful ball game and made 2 huge defensive plays coming down the stretch against the University of Washington.
Chuck Hayes, solid free throw. Only his 3rd point of this first half. As Mike Anderson, he substitutes like a NHL hockey coach. They come in shifts.
And that's exactly right, Dick. He said normally everybody has about 4 minutes in them. Some players can go a little bit longer, and they're supposed to raise their hand on the honor system when they need a breather.
And here comes Derek Broom, a sophomore from Cartersville, Georgia. He said that he starts with 4-minute scrimmages, and he said that's about all they can take because they're going end to end. And then he tries to work it up to the end of the season. They're going 7-minute scrimmages, and that's all he asks, 4 to 7 minutes in game action. And the players say, hey, the game's easy.
Yeah, but it doesn't start on October 15th either. It starts way back in the summer. These guys put a lot of legwork in.
Jones just into the game. His shot is partially blocked. Richard Jones. Pitch at the other end, pulls up for 3. They need it, and they get it from their leader, 37-29. 7 points for Fitch. And timeout is called by Anderson on the UAB bench. 4:24 before the half. The Blazers lead by 8. A reminder coming up on Singular at the half. Greg, Special K, and Seth get you updated on all the tournament news, plus live look-in, Singular Trivia Challenge as well. All coming up on Singular at the half. And here in Columbus, underdog UAB, the Blazers leading the top seed Kentucky 37-29, have a 13-point lead. Kentucky with the last 5 points. But they have gotten Kentucky's attention, these Blazers from Birmingham.
Well, yeah, on Friday night, Florida A&M shooting 55% in that first half. Now UAB 56%.
Edens spins and takes the jumper, not there, and then unable to control the rebound was Richard Jones. Hawkins has it batted away, but right to Fitch.
So quick is UAB to react to the ball.
Antoine Barber, he's made some big plays. 6 points now for him off the bench. 7 unanswered by the Cats. And that's got their fans ready to roar. And Edens gets a nice soft roll.
Kentucky going to the zone defense, I think, primarily for Tubby Smith to give his regulars a little bit of a breather at the defensive end. He knows they're expending a lot of energy against this lightning quick UAB ball club.
Foul before the shot against UAB. Send Azubuike to the line.
Just because you're playing zone doesn't mean you open up the middle like that, but good ball handling on the part of Kennedy and Edens, as they seem to be alert just about for whatever Kentucky throws up at the defensive end. Look at everybody leaning over, grabbing the shorts, grabbing the knees for Kentucky. They're a tired bunch right now.
Sophomore Azubuike, Kalina from Tulsa Christian High School, and he's short. And there again, quicker to the ball were the Blazers as Ronell Taylor took it away from Chuck Hayes. Approaching the 3-minute mark. The Blazers with the ball and leading by 8.
Ronell Taylor was wide open in the corner, wanted to get ball.
Tony Johnson back to Squeaky Johnson, not related. The three-pointer is there for Ronell Taylor.
That's why he wanted it, Dick. He's feeling it right now, and he knows those corners are wide open against the Kentucky zone.
7 points for Ronell. And there's the defense, and the Blazers thought that the ball went off the knee of a Wildcat player, but it will be Kentucky ball and a timeout. 2:37 to go before the intermission. What's going on here in Columbus? UAB 42, number 1 Kentucky 31.
And there have been hands in their face on some of these, but normally Kentucky only gives up 32% three-point shooting.
Well, let's talk about Kentucky's defense. They have not allowed a team all season long in 31 games to shoot 50%, and the Blazers hitting 57% in this first half. There you see it. Season just 40, one of the best in the country. Now we saw the same in the earlier game. Cincinnati boasts of a great defense, and Illinois tore them apart. Johnson with 9, Finley with 8, Art Taylor with 7 for the Blazers, and Harry Daniels leads Kentucky with 10. Hawkins, and it rolls to Fitch.
Harry Daniels getting an extended stay on the bench with those 2 personal fouls.
Down to 5 on the shot clock. Fitch has to hurry and forces the 3, and the rebound to Tony Johnson. And the men in green hurry it into the offensive end. This is Squeaky Johnson. He's had a hot hand. Ronell Taylor over Azubuike. Hayes battles with Edens. And look at the play by Edens. He knocks it off. Antoine Barber out of bounds to UAB. He had that sensational 26-point game against Washington.
Kentucky is very small right now. Watch this save right off the button of Antoine Barber. And also with Daniels on the bench, Kentucky at the offensive end and can't get that little high-low action, which is so effective for them.
Squeaky Johnson almost lost it to Fitch. Edens takes it in. And the rebound to Hayes. And he's surrounded by Green. Somebody should be open, but look how quickly the Blazers get back on defense. Fitch forced to alter his shot. Has trouble controlling the ball. It's a turnover to UAB. It just seems like there's 7.5 men out there, and that's what Mike Anderson coaches. That kind of defense.
Gerald Fitch getting his own miss and stumbling, but shuffling the feet. Accurate call by the officials. And Dick, the reason that UAB can get back in transition like that is Cliff Hawkins is pounding the ball too much. Instead of looking up and passing the ball ahead. I don't care how fast you are, you can't catch up to the ball.
7th turnover committed by Kentucky as we tick down toward 1 minute left in the half. Tony Johnson, good inside pass to Kennedy. Batted out to Edens. 3 for Ronell Taylor. No, and Hayes rebounds. Again, it's Hawkins with a dribble, and he travels. Something slippery in that area. That's 2 in a row, maybe from the last fall of his teammate Fitch. Hawkins slipping in that perspiration.
And the defense of Squeaky Johnson having a little bit to do with it, but once again, Cliff Hawkins is bound and determined to tattoo that ball into the floor. And again, when you're in the middle on the break as a point guard, you've got to dribble some, but you've also got to look ahead and throw back.
Into the final minute. Look at the brackets. And that's going to be a foul as Squeaky Johnson took it inside against the much taller Kentucky Trees. Winner of this game will meet either Pacific or Kansas in the Sweet 16 round. Now they're going to call that just out of bounds. And
big break for Chuck Hayes. That would have been his second to join Eric Daniels with 2.
Hawkins on Squeaky Johnson. 37 seconds. 10 on the shot clock, and Squeaky Johnson lost the ball, and now out of bounds Gabe Kennedy off his knee. So Kentucky with the shot clock off, 31 seconds left in this first half.
Good defensive play by Cliff Hawkins, but they came away grabbing his back again. I don't know if it's fatigue or the back is bothering him, or both.
And Kentucky will use a timeout with 22 seconds left in the half. Tubby Smith wants that final hoop of the half. The drama continues here in the final seconds of the first half as Tubby Smith's heavily favored Kentucky Wildcats down by 11. No points in the last 3.5 minutes for Kentucky, and they have 22 seconds to try to do something about that.
And this is when they usually look for Gerald Fitch. He's been quiet, relatively speaking, 2 for 7 from the field in this first half.
Down to 14 seconds. Down to 11, and a foul is called. Mike Anderson didn't like that a bit. The second on Squeaky Johnson. And not yet in the double bonus. It'll be 1-1 for Cliff Hawkins, who is a 70% shooter. Still kind of protecting that back using hands on the hip. Has only 2 points in this first half. That cuts the lead to 10. 11 seconds left, so the Blazers will have a chance to get the final shot. Should they get the rebound here or just get it after the make, and it's a make by Hawkins, a 9-point game. A little pressure in the backcourt by Kentucky. Oh, Edens took it away from his teammate and can't hit the shot. Hayes saws the bouquet off the front lip of the rim, and that's the end of the first half. Mike Anderson squeezing out a little reaction. Didn't like that shot by Edens, who thought there was less time than actually there was on the clock. Daniels with 10 led Kentucky in the half. Johnson, Squeaky Johnson 9, and Mo Finley with 8 for UAB, shooting 6 for 11 from long range. The Blazers go to the locker room with a 9-point lead, and we go to Leslie Visser.
Dick, as you know, not many people would have predicted this. Coach Anderson, how have you been able to attack them?
Well, we shouldn't even be here, according to a lot of people, but they forgot to tell my guys. Our bench came in to play well.
What will it be? Your 20 minutes from the regional. What will you tell your team at halftime?
Oh, let's keep up the intensity. Our pressure defense caused a lot of problems for Kentucky.
Very impressive so far. Thanks, Coach. Back to you, Dick.
Thank you, Leslie. End of the half, 42-33. UAB will send you to Greg Gumbel in New York after these messages and a word from your local station. Back in the capital of the Buckeye State with a score UAB 42, Kentucky 33. Let's get Tubby Smith's reactions. Leslie?
Coach, it appears you were not able to run your normal post offense. What adjustments did you make at halftime?
Well, we need to do a better job defensively. It had nothing to do with our offense. We were getting some shots at the rim, but we have to stop somebody, and that's what we do best. You know, they have a great game plan. Their kids have been making some outside shots and threes. We just got to get out and cover some people. You know, we got to get the ball to Chuck more. He got to get more than one shot. We got to get our postmen more shots because they're the ones they have missed a shot. So again, we can control that and be better, have better shot selection. I think we'll be okay.
Great. Thank you, Coach. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Leslie. Kentucky will get the ball first. Kentucky trailed only 4 times at half all season, and this is their biggest deficit that they faced, 9 points. Hawkins, Hayes, Daniels inside. Azubuike with a drive. That's the way to start a half. First points for Azubuike. Finley. And a turnover. So the Wildcat fans like that. 47% UAB. Tubby Smith didn't like that. That's too high for him.
Well, the pressure defense by UAB and then falling back into it really bothered Kentucky in the first half. And now they came out and started the first possession man-to-man, and Azubuike did the right thing. Take the ball right to the hole.
Reverse on the dribble, and that sets up Azubuike. Rims out, and foul's going to be called for backing in on Squeaky Johnson, trying to back Fitch out of there. And that'll be his third.
Gerald Fitch trying to help out on the boards and got shoved out of there, blocked out by Squeaky Johnson. And now he's got 3 personal fouls. He had an outstanding first half. He was the difference maker with the 3-point shooting.
UAB led by as much as 13 in that first half. Kentucky keeps whittling away. It's down to 7. Daniels, Fitch. He gets the three, and it's 42-38.
What a difference the presence of Eric Daniels makes. He got that ball inside, looked low, couldn't find his buddy Chuck Hayes, goes right back out to Gerald Fitch, and they have to get it involved offensively.
Hawkins checking foul against him is first.
And Gerald Fitch does 2 for 7 from the field in the first half as the UAB defense clearly getting up into him, trying not to give him any kind of good looks, but the inside out will create some open shots.
Close to a 5 there on the defense of Hawkins. Evans works his way inside, and he has his 7th point.
We're seeing a much more aggressive Kentucky defense to come out and start this second half. Maybe a little bit over-aggressive there, opening up the door to DeMario Edwards.
Chuck Hayes trying to set up Daniels, and it's batted away by UAB. Now look at that. That's team effort. 11 players saw 8 scored. 6 had 4+. 4 had 2+ assists. 11 assists on 16 field goals. Any coach would like that graphic. Hawkins sets up Fitch. Back-to-back threes. No. But look at the follow by Azubuike and then Daniels. But Azubuike is the man who kept it alive. 44-40 the game. All the way in the block. Oh, my. Going down hard was Finley. Comes up smiling. He's okay.
Well, the one big weakness for UAB coming in is the fact that they are not big inside, not a good defensive rebounding team, and Kentucky can take advantage of that. And Chuck Hayes, sprinting back in transition defense, clearly got the shot block, but evidently hit Mo Finley downstairs.
Finley shoots 2, looking for his 9th point. Delightful young man. Had a chance to chat with him. He's from Lafayette, not Lafayette, but Lafayette, Alabama, small town near Auburn. He said the entire town's watching TV today. He said we all know each other. We all care. A lot of these Birmingham kids are from a smaller communities, not recruited heavily. But they've been molded into a terrific team by Mike Anderson. Ask him, what do you know about Kentucky? They said, we know everything about them. They're on TV every week.
They're good.
A whistle away from the ball, and it's Hawkins with the ball using his off arm to ward off that tight defense.
I don't know whether it was Hawkins or Chuck Hayes on the inside. Chuck Hayes trying to get position, which he had, but when he wrapped those arms back, you're not allowed to dislodge a defender like that as an offensive player, but just ever so slightly Chuck Hayes stuck the arm out. So it was Eric Daniels who had the 2 fouls in the first half, had to spend 8 minutes on the bench, and now key player Chuck Hayes.
He is key. 3 fouls on Hayes. So Barber comes in to replace him. Tony Johnson with a dribble. Hawkins, no foul. Certainly plenty of contact. Way off the mark, and then Daniels knocks it out of bounds. Trying to reach in front of Sidney Ball. Ball who left the game after 2 minutes with 2 quick fouls in the first half. Finally gets back on the floor. He's averaging under 8 a game. He triggers it in to Evans. Kennedy, left alone, takes the 10-footer. Gabe Kennedy, and it's back to an 8-point lead. UAB. Here comes the press. And you could hear Hawkins yell timeout. Mike Anderson's team survives the first Kentucky rush.
Back in Columbus, well, everyone's been talking about the connection between Mike Anderson and Coach Nolan Richardson. Tubby Smith told me, you know, I've coached against Nolan 20 times, and if I squint, it's exactly the same team. I asked him, what is the difference? And he said, nothing. I'm just waiting for Mike Anderson to get a pair of boots. Dick?
Yeah, Nolan loves those cowboy boots. Great job at Arkansas, and of course the national title 94, and in the finals in 95 lost to UCLA, and Mike Anderson was on the bench with him. He played for Richardson for 2 years as his point guard at Tulsa University. And Nolan, he said, have you been hearing from him? He said, yes, after the game and during it. And you see Nolan, he's coaching from the 8th or 10th row over there. Whistle before they inbound the ball. And it's called on Mo Finley. It's his third. So Finley and Johnson, the two starters in the backcourt for UAB, have 3.
Well, no question Mike Anderson doesn't want Mo Finley in foul trouble, but they don't mind hacking away because they use so many different players. They want to be as physical and aggressive as possible, get the officials used to seeing a lot of grabbing and holding.
Well, Cliff Hawkins can't get it and goes out of bounds off Azubuike. Hawkins with a good look for a 3 and couldn't drop it. So they'll rest Mo Finley, and Tony Johnson, taller at 6'4", the senior from Morganfield, Kentucky, comes in, number 21. They're the leading scorers for UAB, led by Finley, who's now rested with 3. Kennedy had a solid game, the big man for UAB.
UAB has done 2 things to hurt Kentucky. A lot of dribble penetration and kickouts for looks at 3-point shots. And they run a lot of offense through Gabe Kennedy, and he's handled nicely. Ronell
Taylor tries to take it inside, rejected by Eric Daniels. He gave Coach Mike Anderson some solid minutes in that first half. The 6'6" twin from Montgomery. 10 on the shot clock. And the pass goes off. Demario Edens out of bounds to Kentucky. Tonight on CBS, when Americans are taken hostage, they turn to this guy to rescue him, Russell Crowe. Big movie, Proof of Life, premiere tonight on CBS, America's most watched network. Hawkins, and he was denied by Kennedy's defense. Taylor. He likes the shot from the side. Didn't hit that one.
Rick, he likes every shot up. He hasn't passed one up yet. Just about every time the ball touches his hands, he's thinking offense. He's either going to take the shot or try to drive it to the goal.
Stolen. It's Johnson going the other way. Azubuike, and he blows the layup. And then Edens, or it's Bull rather, that gets the ball away and wisely says, let's set it up here.
Tony Johnson just ran out of the legs there. I think Azubuike almost gave up on the play and thought about fouling and just ran by.
One of the damage said, I think I'm too far away, and there's the blocking call on Azubuike. Second on him. Kentucky with 14 fouls, 2 on UAB here in the second half. The steal produces no points for UAB. Underdog, University of Alabama Birmingham against the #1 seed Kentucky. 48-40, the Blazers lead it. 4.5 minutes into the second half. It'll be UAB's ball when they blow the whistle. Squeaky Johnson and his backcourt mate for UAB, Mo Finley, with 3 fouls, could be critical to the UAB upset cause. Dick Enberg, Matt Kukas, Leslie Visser, and following this action, we'll pretty much have it all set. The final 16 for the 2004 championship as March Madness heads to San Antonio. Evans inside to Kennedy. Over Daniels. Banks it off the glass. Gabe Kennedy with 9.
He has been so effective in this ballgame. Comes in averaging just under 12 a game, shooting 51%, and has handled the ball in the post very nicely.
Eric Daniels has been perfect, 5 for 5 field goals, but the rest of Kentucky shooters are 10 for 31. Barber gets his way inside, and he's made some big baskets tonight. Antoine Barber with 8, and they've all come at a time when Kentucky needed a lift.
And have they ever needed something from Antoine Barber, especially with Gerald Fitch not that effective?
Eric Daniels found Kennedy slipping away and holds him for his 3rd.
Gabe Kennedy holding off Eric Daniels. Daniels does have 2 personal fouls, trying to use his body down low there. And Kennedy knows that he's not going to get a whole lot of aggressive defense from Daniels in there.
Kennedy moves farther out and hits the 17-footer. Big game from the 6'9" senior. He's got 11.
Boy, this relentless pressure on Kentucky certainly could take its toll because they've been looking up all game long, trying to get back to even, and sometimes you use so much energy, you don't have anything left for the finish.
Barber double teamed and got the shot up but misses. Second opportunity, and it's right back to Barber. Pitch wants it for three. Too long. And Kentucky will get a third chance. Oh, they had Ronell Taylor wide open down court, and they've been able to rebound the Blazers.
Well, that's one of the things they do, Dick. On a long jump shot, they will release, much as the way Nolan Richardson used to play at Arkansas and Tulsa.
Azubuike got the basket, and the Blazers' Edens, pressured by the Kentucky defense, uses a timeout. This was big. Finch missed the long shot and then gave it to Azubuike. Look at our tournament summary in the SEC. Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Alabama still alive, and only one Conference USA team is left, and we're watching them. The UAB Blazers, Cincinnati, Memphis, DePaul, Louisville, Charlotte have all been dismissed. Illinois today, how about that? 64% shooting against a tough defensive team. Cincinnati, the best shooting of this NCAA championship thus far.
And UAB should be thinking about going inside, taking the ball to basket at every opportunity. They got Daniels with three, Hayes on the bench with three.
Ball can't hit the 10-footer from the side. Rebound to Robbie Moss, and then the what a play! A blind pass, and Donnell Taylor scores. Oh my, that's got the crowd excited in Columbus. Taylor made.
Ronell Taylor, eyes behind in the back of his head, and look at the bench at UAB. They are absolutely ecstatic.
Well, these identical twins know where each other are. What a pass. Pitch. Daniels, the lead back to 10. Azubuike. A clutch jumper. 6 for him. That was a spectacular play. Get that highlight reel heated up. I want to see that one again.
I gotta believe that is the pass of the tournament.
That one nearly was not by Kennedy. Almost threw it away. Ronell Taylor says, "Where's Donnell when I need him?" There he is. Donnell was 6 with 5. Has to force it up. Underneath. Who else? The brother.
A small front line for Kentucky, getting beat up right now. Eric Daniels needs some help, and I think Chuck Hayes is on his way.
Robbie Moss, rarely used it in the tournament thus far, is in there for Kentucky, and he hits a 3. Big time. Oh, is that a nice bonus for the Wildcats? Moss averaging on, well, he's only scored 35 points all year. Gabe Kennedy guilty of a travel. Here's the play. Blind pass. Ronell. Donnell. Delicious.
Kentucky getting a rare fast break opportunity, and Ronell Taylor looks like he's in a world of hurt as he's the only man back 2-on-1, but over the top of the head to twin brother Donnell Taylor on the release. Now, he said that they release on jump shot, but that was a fast break play and a release.
There's so many white shirts down here with me. Someone's got to be open. It's that
the defensive play, the alertness, the difficulty of the over-the-head pass.
And it was perfect.
Right on the money.
That had even the fans without a rooting interest in this game a buzz. Meanwhile, Kentucky with Robbie Moss coming off the bench to hit a 3 is pulled within 7. And the Wildcats with the ball get 2 more. And a whistle.
Cliff Hawkins getting a seam as Chuck Hayes back in the game right now, taking out a couple of green-shirted UAB Blazers, clearing a path for Hawkins, who's had his problems trying to do the job defensively. He's been bothered a little bit by a bad back, certainly bothered by the pressure of Squeaky Johnson for much of that first half.
Donnell Taylor out. You saw Mo Finley return with Kentucky cutting the lead to 5, and with a 3-point play, Hawkins makes it a 4-point UAB lead. With 11:39 left.
Some big plays. Robbie Moss hitting that three-pointer, and now 3-point play by Cliff Hawkins, and now Big Blue Nation up on their feet.
All of this with Eric Daniels sitting on the bench the last couple of minutes with 3 fouls. A small lineup for Kentucky. Moss on Finley, who raises, can't hit it. Rebound to Fitch. Kentucky making its run, the #1 seed, with 11 minutes plus left in this second half. 19,000 plus here in Columbus, and most of them are wearing Kentucky blue. Fitch almost, but he gets it back. In the crowd, it's blocked. Amazing defense by the Blazers, and almost a steal by Fitch. And a push against Robbie Moss, his first. Kentucky's 6th team foul, 3 on UAB.
Fitch getting blocked once, Fitch getting his own, and DeMario Eden's in there as well. He made 2 huge defensive plays the other night against University of Washington. He was certainly a part of that one.
Here to be Donnell Taylor in the backside, got the block on the second attempt as Tony Johnson goes out, and Squeaky Johnson is back. So the backcourt members of UAB, the 2 starters, have returned, each with 3 fouls. Squeaky Johnson and Mo Finley. Donnell Taylor gets inside, but finds himself under the basket, and Hayes picks it off for Kentucky. Ahead quickly to Hawkins. Deflected. Hawkins gets it back, and the foul. And it's going to be on Squeaky Johnson, or is it Mo Finley? Finley, and it's his 4th. Got caught reaching in what he thought was a loose ball Wednesday. A special night for Survivor. We'll see what the camera catches when our Survivor performers aren't looking. Survivor All-Stars Wednesday, 8/7 Central on CBS, America's most watched network.
Dick, both teams a little bit out of control right now. Individual players trying to get the job done instead of playing together.
Azubuike had an open look, and now Hawkins gives Kentucky another chance. Almost stolen by Evans, out of bounds to Kentucky.
A little uncharacteristic for Kentucky, making so many passes leaving their feet instead of the normal crisp ball handling that you see, and good player movement with the floor spread.
Approaching the midpoint of this second 20-minute period, Kentucky trailing by 4. By 1! Robbie Moss, 2 threes off the bench to spark this Wildcat comeback. 10 minutes to go. Ball is knocked away, and it's a freebie for Hawkins. No, he gives it to Fitch, and he's fouled.
There are no freebies there. Not with the Blazers out there. Robbie Moss, a walk-on performer for Kentucky, had a good stretch in the middle of the season and got playing time because he was a defensive worker and a hustler to lose balls, coming up with 2 huge threes for Tubby Smith and what looked like was a breakaway. Donnell Taylor just got back and at least making Kentucky earn it from the line.
Fitch has tied the game at 56. Kentucky's biggest lead is 2. This is a 10-0 run. Fitch trying to make it 11, and the Kentucky lead. 9:49. Kentucky finally catches the Blazers. Taylor inside to Donnell Taylor. Ronell to Donnell, and the Blazers get the lead at 58-57.
There's no question there is a sixth sense between those 2.
Azubuike knew where the rim was. He has 8. Kentucky back in front. Oh, an errant pass and a foul, and it's going to be on Squeaky Johnson, so he joins Mo Finley. The 2 starting guards for UAB have 4.
Cliff Hawkins taking a page out of the UAB book in the first half. Penetration and find the open man. And Cliff Hawkins able to find Azubuike on the slash and the hard finish. And at the offensive end, UAB out of control now on the last few occasions. They got to get themselves together. When they go inside, there are good shots.
Both teams with 6 fouls, so they'll go to the line from now on. A 13-2 Kentucky run. They're in the lead, and Hawkins can't get that layup. Scrambled Kennedy and Hayes, and the arrow points to UAB.
And one of the things Kentucky's going to have to be careful with Cliff Hawkins doing so much penetrating right now is make sure they have the backcourt covered. Because as we know, UAB will go on those fly patterns, and they're an easier basket than that.
Antoine Barber returns for Kentucky. Azubuike a rest. Ravi Moss with 2 threes off the bench, not only spelling a tired teammate, but getting critical points in this rally by the Cats. Tony Johnson all the way to score. Spectacular drive, and then a reverse 4 points for him.
Cliff Hawkins is very tired right now. He's not asking to come out, but he didn't want to handle the ball there and fight that pressure.
Barber, and he'll draw the foul. Non-shooting, it'll be 1-1.
And now Cliff Hawkins looking over to Tubby Smith saying, Coach, I need a couple. Nice move by Tony Johnson to use that rim. Kentucky is vulnerable on the interior right now with both Eric Daniels and Chuck Hayes with the 3 personal fouls. They have to be very careful.
It's not a 1-1, it's a 2-shot foul. The first signal was 1-1, and now they've huddled and called it a 2-shot operation, but the miss by Barber. Hawkins does get that blow, and here's Ravi Moss back for Kentucky. This winner will meet either Pacific or Kansas in the Sweet 16 round. That ties it at 60. Back comes Sidney Ball for UAB. And Demario Edens gets the rest. 8.5 minutes left. Game even at 60. UAB led by as many as 13. Kentucky's biggest lead, 2.
Kentucky has to be very careful here trying to contain penetration.
Pass inside to Donnell. Back out to Ronell. Brother to brother, but it's way off the mark. Back out to Ronell. And that's going to be a hold. Here's Eric Daniels may have picked up his 4. He has 4 on a critical inside player for the Wildcats, and Azubuike will come in as we remind you to follow the game on CBS Sportsline's Game Center. Get more than the game. Get play-by-play coverage as it happens without having to refresh your page. Check it out at cbssportsline.com.
Nick, that's a huge call and a huge foul on Eric Daniels on a little bit of a reach-in touch, and he just can't. Neither he or Chuck Hayes can afford to commit that kind of foul.
Donnell misses the free throw. Ronell going up high for the rebound. They're going to call a foul on Ronell going for the rebound. That'll be his 3rd. Anderson with a quizzical expression, wondering why. Shooting 1-on-1 at the other end. Let's first see how Daniels picked up his 4th.
And 6'8" Eric Daniels going out on a quick player, but wow, if there was a touch, it was a slight one. But with 3 personal fouls, you can't even take that chance. You just have to play position and try to give up an outside shot.
Azubuike gives Kentucky the lead. That's Daniels hiding in the towel. 4 fouls. 8 minutes and 7 seconds left. He'll be back. Young man, Azubuike, only a sophomore, averaging 14 in the postseason, has 10 tonight. That matches Kentucky's biggest lead, 2.
UAB with a size advantage inside. Chuck Hayes with 3 personals, guarding Gabe Kennedy.
Out of bounds to the Blazers. And we're going going to have a timeout to think it over. 7:49 left. 62-60. The Cats. .49 left in the #1 seed with a mighty challenge from the #9 UAB. 2-point lead the Cats, both shooting in the same range, both with 6 threes, both with 11 turnovers. The game is as even as the score. It'll be UAB ball out of bounds on the side. They hit 6 out of 11 3-point shots in the first half, the Blazers, but only 2 attempts here in the second half, and they've not connected on either. Starting guards remain on the bench. Squeaky Johnson and Mo Finley, their leading scorer, with 4 fouls. Try to get the ball to Donnell Taylor. Out to Ronell. Brother to brother. It's not there, but Gabe Kennedy gets the rebound. He can't hit. Keep it alive. Back outside to Ronell. Who else? Donnell. Finally. 63-62, and it's right. They do just automatically find each other.
And right now, Kentucky's lack of size in there, and they're paying a price for it, and the quickness of UAB getting those second shot opportunities.
Harry Daniels certainly missed his 6'8" frame. He's on the bench for Kentucky with 4. Fitch all the way, and he regains the lead for the Wildcats. Fitch now leading Kentucky with 14. Ronell to Donnell. Kennedy. Ball, yeah. UAB dominating on the offensive boards without Daniels in there for Kentucky.
So it's got to be a 5-man deal. All 5 players for Kentucky have to peel back and try to help Chuck Hayes on the defensive backboard.
Inside to Kennedy, and a whistle. No basket. No, they called timeout, so it cost UAB a lead. The Blazers call time. There's 19 on the shot clock. 6:22 left in this half. I know many of you tuning in. It's a big night this Sunday night on CBS. The top #1 news magazine, 60 Minutes, followed by television's most watched new drama, Cold Case. Then Russell Crowe, Meg Ryan, and David Caruso are starring in a network premiere of Proof of Life, all here tonight on CBS, America's most watched network. And Donna Smith, wife of Tubby, watching intently, as is Marshita Anderson, the wife of the coach of the Blazers.
And it's been a chess match for the husbands, trying to figure out fouls and fatigue to be ready for the final lap here.
6 minutes and change left. An unusual timeout just as Kennedy was taking a shot that would have given the Blazers the lead. And then the scramble. Out of it comes Fitch for Kentucky. The Cats lead by 1 with the ball. 6 to go. Robbie Moss with those 2 big threes in the rally here early in the second half, and a reach around foul goes against Tony Johnson of UAB. And here comes the starting guards back for the Blazers, Johnson and Finley, each with 4 fouls. Tony Johnson and Ronell Taylor go out.
Antoine Barber will step to the free throw line. So far, a solid performance for him, coming off the bench as the first substitute for Tubby Smith, and they needed him tonight because it's been a grinding game for Gerald Fitch. Fitch does have 14, but he's had to take 13 shots to get him.
And he earns, well, actually, yeah, that was a 1-and-1, so he earns the second and his 10th point of the game. Antoine Barber averaging on the season 4.5. 13 for 17 as Kentucky has taken advantage of the Blazer fouls. This is the biggest Kentucky lead, 3 points. Plenty of time, 7:15 17-16 on the shot clock.
Kentucky being so small, they can just about switch on everything.
Squeaky Johnson for three. It's short. Comes in, almost took it away from Fitch.
2 straight times now Gerald Fitch has got back in there and helped out with the rebounding. 2 big defensive rebounds for Fitch.
Good point. Averaging 4 rebounds a game on the season at 6'3". Pulls up for 3. That's the magic number. And Kentucky finally has some breathing room. A 6-point lead. 17 for Fitch, and Fitch called for the reach-in foul. Second on him. 1-1 for the Blazers.
Well, Gerald Fitch is the go-to guy for this Kentucky ball club. He's the man they expect to get the ball to when they need baskets coming down this stretch. And as long as Kentucky holds this little margin, 4.6 points, Tubby Smith can rest Eric Daniels.
Mo Finley averaging just under 14 a game, looking for his 11th. Under 5 to go. The scene, Columbus, Ohio. Kentucky has rallied from 13 points down to lead by 6. Mo Finley hits the second free throw, hits both. 69-65. Wildcats, less than 5 to go.
Cliff Hawkins back in the game. He got a nice long breather.
Hayes outside to Hawkins. Steps inside the line, a little strong, but Fitch again. He's been a rebounding terror with Eric Daniels, the 6'8" center of the Wildcats, on the bench with 4 fouls. Barber wants the 3. Just misses. It goes off the back of the iron. Mario Evans brings it in. Whoa. And Fitch has another rebound. He has 4 rebounds in the last minute and a half. 7 in the game.
Mike Anderson wanted a foul on that. Good idea by DeMario Evans, but out of control on the release.
Hawkins and Azubuike and Squeaky Johnson calls time. He knocked the ball away and knew he didn't have his balance. Called time, and UAB will have it when we come back. Back in Columbus, just under 4 to go. The 4-point lead for the Kentucky Wildcats. Look at the foul situation. Johnson and Finley, the starting guards for UAB, with 4. Ronell Taylor with 3, and Eric Daniels 4, and Chuck Hayes with 3. Well, 2 tickets already punched for the final 16 in St. Louis. Georgia Tech and Nevada will play, and the winner of this game to meet either Pacific or Kansas in the other match. On the road to San Antonio, and this UAB team, just a spectacular Friday night in their 102-100 win against Washington, and they certainly have offered a severe test to the #1 seed Kentucky Wildcats tonight. Led by 9 at the half. Kentucky with a typical strong Wildcat rally here in the second. Strong drive. Does it count? No. Donnell Taylor and Hawkins took the full brunt of that charge. 3rd on Donnell Taylor.
Terrific job by Cliff Hawkins, who comes up gimpy again, stepping in there to take the charge.
They've whittled this 65-team field down to almost 16. Kentucky, the #1 seed, trying to find its way to St. Louis. As we check our CBS Sportsline stat of the game, field goal percentage second half. Kentucky has tightened the defense, and UAB down to 37%. Get complete tournament coverage at CBSSportsline.com. A 4-point game. Kentucky ball, 3:38 to go.
And a big factor, Dick, Kentucky slowed this game down to a workable pace for them. Anytime you do that to UAB, they will struggle.
Full court pressure, and they break it nicely, and Barber will take it strongly up the middle. Azubuike inside, and to Hawkins. The Blazers just swarm. You feel you got a man open, all of a sudden there are 2 green shirts on him. Pitch can't hit, but no one blocked out Azubuike. And there's the steal by Donnell Taylor. Finley open for three, and instead passes it up to Donnell, and he scores. A 2-point lead, Kentucky, 69-67, 13 for Donnell Taylor.
Excellent pass by Mo Finley. Looked like he had a wide open look at the three, but wisely made the extra pass for the higher percentage shot.
2:45 to go. The #1 seed. There's Hayes on a setup from Hawkins. 6 points for Chuck Hayes.
It's been a solid second half for Cliff Hawkins, getting his game under control, and he has done it with penetration and kicks.
Donnell Taylor, no good on the three. Kennedy outleaps Hayes, can't get the ball to drop, and Hayes rips away with a rebound. Still double team and finally calls timeout. Wanted a foul. A lot of quick hands jabbing in there. Kentucky with the ball, 4-point lead, 2:19 left. For those of you joining us here on CBS, a reminder, we will present 60 Minutes in its entirety, as well as Cold Case and a terrific Sunday night movie, Proof of Life. And the Kentucky Wildcats and Blazers, a 4-point game with 2:19 left here. This is why this time of the year is so exciting for any basketball fan. You've got a #9 seed, a long shot, UAB, University of Alabama, Birmingham, against the #1 team, powerhouse Kentucky. The Blazers, the underdogs, led by as much as 13, and a 5-second count against Kentucky. They couldn't get it in. Chuck Hayes couldn't find an open man against that swarming Blazer defense.
Three of the Kentucky players were coming hard to the ball, but excellent defense prevented the inbound pass. Eric Daniels back into the game. He was kind of mid-court, just standing around.
Squeaky Johnson with the ball for UAB. Demario Edens stopped by Azubuike. And that's Daniels. Eric Daniels with 4 fouls has returned. And the ball is deflected. The Blazers make the steal. And there's Demario Edens with a score. 71-69. Azubuike the other way. And the foul on Azubuike for the charge. Oh, my. 3 on him. But more importantly, the Blazers down by 2 get the ball.
First of all, when you get a defensive rebound, the Blazers are double teaming, swarming. Daniels with 4 fouls had to let Kennedy go, and you could see the wheels turning for Kalena Azubuike, thinking, should I go, should I pull out, and obviously made the wrong decision there.
3 critical turnovers by the Cats, and the Blazers with a chance to tie or take the lead with a 3. 1:40 left. Here's the 3. Finley! Morris Mo Finley from Lafayette, Alabama, gives the Blazers a 72-71 lead. 15 for him. He leads the Blazers. Here's Kentucky now, down by 1. Hawkins gives the Cats the 1-point advantage.
Nick, this is now when you expect the poise, composure, for the most part, senior leadership of Kentucky to take over in the closing minutes of a game.
Squeaky Johnson to Donnell Taylor, one of the Taylor twins. Finley, who just made the 3. Squeaky Johnson had a big 3 in the final minute against Washington.
Daniels trying to get off Squeaky. He doesn't think he can contain him or challenge him on the 3.
Shot clock at 5. Donnell Taylor to Kennedy. He scores! The Blazers by 1, 74-73. 46 seconds left. About a 13-second difference between the shot clock and game clock. Pressure on #1, the #1 of all the #1s in the seeding. Daniels, the jumper. Hayes can't hit. Azubuike with a foul. Timeout UAB with 29 seconds left. And the Blazers trailing Kentucky by 1. What a series of action end-to-end.
Red butter play for Kentucky. High-low pass, and Azubuike charging in to get the follow-up. Kentucky by 1.
Nearly 20,000 at the Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio on their feet now as it comes down to the final seconds. 29 seconds, 75-74. Number 1 Kentucky in the lead. 60 minutes will follow in its entirety here on CBS as UAB will inbound the ball. They led by 13 late in the first half. They were up by 9 at halftime. Kentucky finally, with a huge rally the first 10 minutes of this second half, took the lead at 57-56, and it's been seesawing ever since. The wives of the coaches, Donna Smith, Tubby Smith's wife, with everyone out. Not a soul in the house sitting except the media guys and girls.
This is when they usually look for Mo Finley.
Squeaky Johnson to Finley. Takes for the lead. He got it! Mo Finley with 12 seconds and Kentucky calls time. The little guys, the underdogs from UAB against the long-standing powerhouse, the thoroughbreds of University of Kentucky. And now it's Kentucky's turn with 12 seconds left. Finley coolly stepping inside the line and drilling the two. What a game.
UAB Blazers running Mo Finley off some screens, but what usually works best in these situations, guard penetration and kick out. The head fake, the pump fake by Finley got rid of Chuck Hayes on the play, and Finley, instead of thinking three-pointer, did the wise thing, just stepped into the jumper inside the three-point line.
12 lead changes here in the second half. The winner goes to the final 16, and the pressure of a lifetime dream. You saw Mo Finley, in some ways for UAB and Mike Anderson and the 9th seeds of the world, the impossible dream. But here they are, 1 point ahead of the top team in the nation going into the seeding situation for this NCAA tournament. And 12 seconds to go. Kentucky with a final chance.
They usually look for Gerald Finch.
8, 7, it's Hawkins. 6, it's still Hawkins. The drive by Hawkins. Finch to win it. Hayes hits. Oh my, the upset to UAB. The Blazers have knocked out Kentucky. Mo Finley, the man who made the winning shot, said he all season long, I wonder what would it be like to play Kentucky. Here's the final shot by Finch, just off the front of the rim. A desperation tip by Hayes, and the Blazer bench joins in the celebration of a major upset here in Columbus, Ohio. Mike Anderson, the head coach for UAB.
Well, Mike Anderson learned a lot about his team here this evening, that they could play a couple of different styles. Really played it smart in the first half, changing up with the defenses, the pressure dropping back into the same. Tubby Smith slowed it down in the second half, and Kentucky got the shot that they like. High pick and roll, see where Hawkins can go. If he meets resistance, look for the kick out for Gerald Finch. They couldn't ask for a better shot than that.
Well, they did shock the world. Just take us through the final shot, and then you're on your knees after that.
Just an answer prayer. I just like to thank God that it went in. I mean, without Jesus Christ, without God, we wouldn't be here today. I mean, a lot of people take for granted just to be able to walk and run, and a lot of people can't do that. And I'm just so thankful and just so grateful that I'm able to just have two arms and two legs that work.
What were you able to do on that shot? How did you see it?
I mean, Squeaky did a great job of drawing two defenders, and he just found me. And Coach had been telling me to use my head fake more, use the pump fake more, and I did it, and I got a clean look, and thank God it went down.
Lafayetteville.
Lafayette,
Alabama. Congratulations to you. Coach, did you know when he let it go it was good?
Well, I know Mo. He just made that one in the corner, and sure enough, When he left his hand, I could see it going in.
Is that what you were looking for, or what were you looking for there?
Well, I think Squeaky was going to make something happen. We initially wanted to get it to Mo on the offside, and of course Squeaky has the presence to make a great move to draw defenders, and of course Mo makes a great play to knock the shot down.
What did you tell your team when they made that great run in the second half?
I told them that, number one, the game's not over with. They're going to make a run at us, and just hang in there. Have your parts, don't panic. And when things looked like they were down, our guys continue to hang in there and scrap and claw, and well, we're living a dream.
Well, congratulations to you. We'll see you in St. Louis.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you, Coach.
We salute the Chevrolet players of the game. They're the leading scorers on the season for their respective teams. Mo Finley and Gerald Fitch each with 17, and Finley had the winning shot against the #1 team in the nation, or #1 seed. And UAB has upset Kentucky 76-75.